Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. How you doing? How you been? My rainbow weird alternative queer family. It is fall. I got my long sleeve cardigan on. I'm wearing two tank tops and a beanie. And yeah. So it is fall. Fall is officially here. Fall is upon us. And here's part 2 to my dream of about a midnight mansion. Let me know if you guys have ever had any dreams where you talk about them or you write them down or make a video. And yeah, next week I will be making videos on my top 5 favorite horror movies or top 5 TV shows or a top 5 horror, anime, paranormal, psychological, thriller, supernatural, all that. Urban legends, folklore, because I'm also into that too. But for now, here is part 2 to my dream. Okay, so in part 1, it ended on me going back home. Part 2, it's a little different this time. Part 2 starts off with me going back home. I keep the necklace and I keep the rose, hoping that it would give me a sign as to who this person might be, and where and why is this mansion located in the middle of the woods. I think to myself, not a lot of people know about this midnight mansion actually being a thing. However, I also noticed that it only shows up at nighttime. It never is there during the day. So, I wait until nighttime. I take a stroll into the woods when it's close to being dark. And of course, I'm walking through the woods and I see the mansion. I see the sign, "Welcome to Midnight Mansion." I walk in, except only this time it's a little different. It's more like a ballroom masquerade ball where everybody is dressed up, looking nice and fancy and flawless. You have all different types of colored outfits, from burgundy to white to blue to green, and they're mostly dark colors. It's kind of like something straight out of a romantic gothic movie or TV show, if you will. And it's centered around both human beings and the supernatural beings. I see this tall, mysterious man named Sebastian. Sebastian quickly spots me in the crowd. And again, he asks me to dance with him. And again, I say yes. We dance for at least an hour or two. And then he offers me a glass of wine, Stella Rose. He offers me a glass of wine in the flavor red, Stella Rose. I told him this is my favorite type of wine. And he said, "Oh, I knew this already about you." Now, me being the person that I am, I'm a little skeptical, but I'm also cautious about he knows more information about me than what he's letting on. So, I don't question him a lot. I just ask him bits and pieces. How do you know little pieces of information about me? And he says, "'Cause I've known you for 5 years of your life." And he starts to tell me about these letters that I've been writing to a pen pal. But this pen pal of mine doesn't have a name. The pen pal refers to himself as S, and S stands for Sebastian. As I'm listening to Sebastian tell me about the letters, I start to realize the person I had been writing to wasn't my ex-fiance the entire time for 5 years. It was actually Sebastian. However, I already knew this information because I figured my fiance isn't capable of writing these type of letters. Y'all ignore the noise from outside of my bedroom. Anyway, back to the story. I knew that it was not my fiance that wrote these letters. It was Sebastian. Sebastian explains to me that you and I have been writing a series of letters to each other for 5 years, telling each other how we really feel, our flaws, and our insecurities and our imperfections, and how we've come to accept each other and acknowledge each other as equals, because you and I are both different in a lot of ways. Sebastian, who is of Irish descent, you may think he's tall, but not really super tall. Tall enough. And he has black hair. You would think most people that are Irish have reddish orange hair. But Sebastian chose to dye his hair. Again, not trying to stereotype Irish people. So Sebastian and I, we talk. And we continue to talk and continue to get to know each other until eventually he and I become a couple. And then one night, after we've dated for over at least 3 years, I was hesitant because I knew he was going to ask me to marry him. I explained to him about my past relationships and why I wasn't ready to get married yet and why I didn't want to have kids. And he understood. He gave me some time, as a partner should if you were planning on proposing. So after a while, after a couple of weeks go by, I eventually say yes. I also found out that Sebastian and all of his other friends were not only human beings, but some of them were also vampires, werewolves, witches, and many other things involving the supernatural beings and folklore. I was very accepting of Sebastian being a vampire, and I had no issue being his wife, a human. Sebastian and I, we eventually got married, and we are now husband and wife, and we now live in the Midnight Mansion, where we host parties, whether they be during the day, but mostly at night, because that is where everybody lets their freak flag fly. We accept all people in our household, filled with human beings and the supernatural and queer as well. I realize that this is the life that I've always wanted. Excitement, adventure, romance, passion, and understanding, and above all, trust and loyalty that I did not get when I was with my former fiance. They say time will heal all wounds. Well, I don't know how true that is, but I can assure you, it helped me get over my past experiences, because if I hadn't, I probably would have missed out on something great with a good, decent man. They say behind every great man is a great woman. Again, I don't know how true that is, but I guess I could believe it to a certain extent. So, Sebastian and I became a couple, husband and wife. However, it's only a matter of time before I ask him to turn me into a vampire, into what he is. Only time will tell, but for now, I'm enjoying myself and living a newfound happy life with my husband. And that is the end of my dream. Now, I noticed how I kept saying my dream that I had, it was me in my dream, but I went by a different name. And that was my dream, you guys. I never thought I would be able to make a video about something in full detail. And I've been having this dream for about 2 weeks, like once a week. So yeah, you guys, let me know what you guys think. If you had a dream, or if you want to write it down, or tell me in the comments, let me know. My next video, I will be talking about some of my favorite horror YouTube channels, or some of my favorite TV shows or anime. You know, I will be making sure that I write it down and everything just to make a video. And yeah, you guys. So I will see you in the next video. Happy horror season and happy Halloween.